HOA banned security fences. I installed razor wire and claimed a defense perimeter. What would you do if your safety was at stake? But a powerful HOA stood in your way, dictating what you could do to protect your own home. This is the story of Marcus Reed, a determined homeowner who took on his HOA's rigid rules to secure his family's safety, only to face a battle that would test his resolve and reveal the true cost of defiance. Marcus Reed moved into the upscale Willow Creek neighborhood in Austin, Texas, seeking a peaceful suburban life for his wife, Sarah, and their 2 young daughters. The community, with its manicured lawns and uniform fences, promised safety and harmony. But soon after settling in, Marcus noticed a troubling pattern: late-night prowlers, petty thefts, and an unsettling incident where a stranger lingered near his backyard, peering through the flimsy 4-foot wooden fence that the HOA mandated. His daughters, just 6 years old, loved playing in the yard, but Marcus couldn't shake the fear that the low fence offered no real protection. Senate Bill 1588, passed in Texas in 2021, gave homeowners the right to install perimeter fences for security, regardless of HOA restrictions, as long as the materials were approved. Marcus saw this as his chance to fortify his property. He submitted a proposal for a 6-foot metal fence topped with razor wire, citing the law and his family's safety. The HOA board, led by Karen Whitaker, a stickler for aesthetics with a reputation for controlling every detail of the neighborhood's appearance, rejected his plan outright. "Razor wire is unsightly and dangerous," Karen declared at the meeting, her voice dripping with disdain. "It sends the wrong message about our community." Marcus, furious but undeterred, decided to take matters into his own hands. The truth was, Marcus wasn't just fighting for a fence, he was fighting for peace of mind. The HOA's rules prioritized curb appeal over safety, limiting fences to 4 feet and banning anything deemed unsightly, like razor wire or barbed wire, despite Texas law explicitly allowing security measures. Marcus spent weeks researching, consulting a lawyer who confirmed that Senate Bill 1588 protected his right to a perimeter fence, though the HOA could regulate materials. He resubmitted his proposal, this time for a sleek black wrought iron fence, 6 feet tall, with a subtle coil of razor wire along the top. He included photos, material samples, and a heartfelt letter about his daughter's safety. The board, unmoved, rejected it again, claiming the razor wire violated their aesthetic standards. Frustrated, Marcus uncovered a surprising ally. His neighbor, Mrs. Elena Torres, a retired schoolteacher who'd lived in Willow Creek for decades. Elena revealed that she, too, had clashed with Karen over a privacy fence years ago and had secretly supported other homeowners against the HOA's overreach. "Karen's more interested in her vision of perfection than what's right," Elena whispered, handing Marcus a folder of old HOA meeting notes that showed Karen's pattern of bullying residents into compliance. The confrontation came to a head when Marcus, fed up with the HOA's stonewalling, decided to act. Late one night, under the cover of darkness, he hired a contractor to install the 6-foot wrought iron fence with razor wire around his property. The next morning, Willow Creek buzzed with outrage. Karen, flanked by 2 board members, stormed to Marcus's doorstep, brandishing a violation notice. "Take it down, or we'll fine you $500 a day," she shrieked, her face red with fury. Marcus stood his ground, citing Senate Bill 1588 and holding up a copy of the law. "This is my right to protect my family," he said calmly. "You can't stop me." The neighborhood split. Some residents, like Elena, cheered Marcus's defiance, while others, loyal to Karen's vision of a pristine community, called his fence an eyesore. The HOA escalated, filing a lawsuit to force Marcus to remove the fence, claiming the razor wire posed a public safety hazard. Tensions peaked at a heated HOA meeting, where Karen presented a petition signed by 20 residents demanding the fence's removal. But then came the twist. Elena stood up, revealing she'd rallied 15 other homeowners who supported Marcus, citing their own safety concerns. She also dropped a bombshell. Karen had ignored a 2019 incident where a child nearly drowned in an unfenced pool in the neighborhood, a tragedy that could have been prevented with better security measures. The room erupted, and Karen's authority began to crack. Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. The lawsuit against Marcus backfired when his lawyer presented evidence that the HOA's restrictions violated Senate Bill 1588. The judge ruled in Marcus's favor, stating that while the HOA could regulate materials, it couldn't outright deny a security fence. The razor wire, though controversial, was deemed a legitimate security measure, especially since Marcus had installed it away from public pathways to avoid liability. The HOA was ordered to pay Marcus's legal fees, a sum that drained their budget and infuriated residents already frustrated with Karen's iron-fisted rule. At the next board election, Karen was ousted, replaced by Elena, who promised to balance aesthetics with safety. Marcus's fence stayed, a gleaming symbol of his victory. But the cost was high legal battles, strained neighborly relations, and weeks of stress. Marcus confided to Elena that he regretted the conflict but would do it again to protect his daughters. "Sometimes," he said, "you have to fight for what's right, even if it makes you the villain." In the end, Marcus's stand reshaped Willow Creek, sparking a broader conversation about safety versus conformity. His daughters now play safely in their yard, and other homeowners began submitting their own fence proposals, emboldened by his win. The neighborhood, once rigidly uniform, started to reflect the diverse needs of its residents. Marcus's story challenges us to ask, where do you draw the line between community standards and personal safety? If you were in Marcus's shoes, would you have fought the HOA or found another way? Share your thoughts. There's no right answer, but there's always a story worth telling.